to This Week in Agriculture, a presentation of the Communications Unit, Ministry of Agriculture. I'm your producer and host, Christopher Holder. This Week in Agriculture is produced for television by Matrix Video Productions and Advertising based in East Berbice. We will be focusing on the activities of Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa for week ending November 13. And of course, he has been having a very busy week. We saw his appearance before the Select Committee for Economic Services, Parliament, and he outlined for them the work program and achievements of the Ministry of Agriculture and the various agencies under that ministry to the members of that committee. He will appear again in a month's time to have issues clarified as may be raised by the members of that committee. Lots of other activities, the flood relief distribution of monies to affected farmers continued in Region 1 this week. You'd know that it began last week, last Saturday that is. Our minister returned to Region 1 Saturday to continue the distribution of flood relief monies to those affected persons there. We will hear about all the other activities that he was engaged in this past week as we continue to keep you abreast on government's interventions relative to improving, advancing and growing the local agriculture sector. This Week in Agriculture is produced for television by Matrix Video Productions and Advertising based in East Berbice. We will be back after these messages.
Government has committed to assisting coconut farmers across the country in their efforts at expanding their cultivations. This help will come through the clearing of vegetation and digging of internal drainage and irrigation channels. Farmers can also expect help in the form of technical support through NARI and the Hope Estate. Further, coconut seedling nurseries have been established in various regions as part of a decentralization program for nurseries. Coconut seedlings are now available. These are the 5, 3, and 18-month varieties. Farmers are reminded that the recommended number of trees per acre is 50. Persons interested in purchasing seedlings may make contact with Hope Estate on telephone number 663-2709. Once the booking is made, seedlings can be picked up from a nursery nearest you. A message from the management of Hope Estate, Ministry of Agriculture. This is what a responsible, health-conscious person should be wearing when using agrochemicals on the farm. Wearing the proper protective equipment guards users of pesticides and other harmful chemicals from the cumulative effects of consistent exposure over a period of time. In the short term, exposure can result in skin or eye irritation, rashes, burns, respiratory problems, etc. Long-term results of exposure to harmful chemicals include certain types of cancers, birth defects, etc. Ensure you wear the proper protective equipment when applying pesticides. A message from the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board, Ministry of Agriculture. We begin our review this week with news that Guyana continues to attract the interest of the region and beyond as its agriculture sector ramps up expansion and development, even in the wake of the devastating floods experienced earlier this year. We heard this week that Barbados has reached out to local authorities seeking to ensure a steady, affordable, and timely supply of the commodity. This information was disclosed by Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, who said that once a timetable for the deliveries has been confirmed, a formal agreement will be signed with the island country. Barbados is requesting approximately 3,000 tons of rice, and according to the General Manager of the GRDB, the arrangement will be for Guyana to supply rice to Barbados from November this year to December next year at a slightly reduced cost. Although Guyana has been exporting rice to Barbados since 1996, Minister Mustafa said that the two countries have committed to strengthening bilateral relations and to doing more business together. He explained that the new arrangement with Barbados could possibly be replicated across the other sectors and forms part of President Dr. Irfaan Ali's efforts to increase trade within the Caribbean community, CARICOM, which will ultimately position Guyana to tap into and perhaps even reduce the region's hefty food importation bill. On Tuesday, Guyana's partner in the development of agriculture here, The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, donated to the Guyana Rice Development Board the second tranche of equipment and operational manuals for use in the improvement of its data collection and extension service capabilities. The pieces of equipment comprise 30 tablets, 10 of which were handed over in April this year, and includes cases, a server, backup battery, external hard drives, and data entry software tools. The donation by FAO is part of a project aimed at strengthening Guyana's rice production monitoring system. Speaking during the handing over exercise, FAO's Guyana representative here, Dr. Gillian Smith, said the donation is another example of the ongoing partnership between her organization and Guyana in moving agriculture development forward.
We know, of course, that rice is a very important part of the agriculture sector here in Guyana, providing not just food, but livelihoods for Guyanese, but also throughout the CARICOM and in many other countries as well, as Guyana is an important export earner. This is, of course, no doubt due to the very hard work of the farmers, but we know as well that they are strongly supported by the Guyana Rice Development Board and, of course, the Ministry of Agriculture. We're happy to have been able to collaborate with you by bringing this technical assistance in this project that we have done that strengthens the monitoring systems for gathering and assessing production data of rice, and also to support you in systematically analyzing the opportunities that exist in the rice value chain, particularly value-added products. Today, though, we're focusing on handing over this equipment and operational manuals for the data collection system. Already in operation, this upgraded data collection system facilitates real-time data collection and transmission of this data from the field, reduces the time needed to crunch the numbers, as well as the probability of introducing human typos. It creates faster and more accurate and comprehensive reports that support planning, faster corrective actions, and decision and policy making. And finally, this is digitalized data management, which can ultimately be expanded for other uses within GRDB. And I have a lot of faith in the persons from GRDB. I have faith in your creativity and your innovation that you are going to make it much more than what it currently is. The equipment that we have here is valued at over 3 million Guyanese dollars, and it includes tablets for the field staff, servers, data entry tools, and software, and also some training manuals. However, I want to emphasize today, this is not our chance to showcase what we've done. This is the chance for us to celebrate what you have done. The resources that we bring here as FAO are really only catalytic, and they only complement and support the investment in the resources, time, and expertise, Minister, that Guyana and the government has brought to rice and the rice sector. So we're thankful for the opportunity to work with you, and we sincerely hope that this helps the country to achieve its vision of a transformed food system, especially with rice being a very important part of that. We know that there are challenges ahead, but also there are great opportunities. And for this to be realized, we need everyone on board, and we know that the partnerships are going to be vital. So we're prepared to continue with you as a partner, and once again, thank you very much on behalf of FAO.
In his remarks, Minister Mustafa said the donation was a timely one that was greatly appreciated by the government, as it will help in the modernization of data collection methods within the fast-growing rice sector.
Agriculture is one of the pillars, or one of the most important pillars in our government's plan for prosperity in our country. And rice is a major part of our strategic focus as a government to improve the agriculture sector. Rice has been a very bright spot for us over the year, and I want to assure you that we'll continue to develop this a very important sector. The rice industry's annual contribution to Guyana's GDP was 5% for the growing of rice and for the manufacturing of rice. In 2020, 22% of Guyana agriculture GDP was attributed to the rice production. So you could see rice is a very important commodity for us. And as a government, we want to develop this very important sector. Here, I think that this handing over of these tablets this morning will help our extension officers to ensure they have proper data collections. They work with the farmers very closely so that we can have real-time data that is transferred to our system at the GRDB. Over the year, we have developed various varieties of rice. As a matter of fact, last year I was able to launch the new variety, GRDB 16, where that variety is now showing very commendable yield per acre. We have been able to improve it from around 39 bags per acre to close to approximately 60 bags per acre. That shows that production in the rice sector will be increasing tremendously. Also, what we have been doing too, we have been looking at value added in the rice sector, and we have been working with various stakeholders to improve the value added product in the rice sector. And for that reason, we are now on the trial for the Bio-Fortified Rice. That will be very nutritious and very lucrative in the Caribbean and in Guyana. And I want to commend the FAO. I want to thank the FAO over the years of been partnering with our country, especially our government, to improve the agriculture sector, not only the rice sector, but the agriculture sector and the guidance that you all have given us. We value the support from the FAO, and we look forward for continued support. This gesture here this morning, as I said, will modernize our system that we have, will prepare us for the future ahead. Today, when Guyana is an emerging oil and gas economy, we are seeing the agriculture sector is taking its own advantage to improve people's livelihood across the country. Over the years, we have seen a renewed interest in the agriculture sector. We are seeing more and more people coming into this important activity, and the rice sector especially has been making a valuable contribution to our country's GDP and have been earning us valuable resources, revenue, to contribute to the development of our country. Let me assure you that this $100,000 worth of software, tablets, and accompanying hardware will be put in good use, as I said, will help us to modernize the entire system. Data and statistics are important to us to make informed decisions, and I'm happy that FAO has provided gap analysis and technical assistance in designing a new data collection system using a specialized software with the required training for GRDB staff.
The Agriculture Minister also disclosed plans for a revamping of extension services within the agriculture sector.
At present, we are looking to revamp the entire extension services across the agriculture sector. I am looking forward for FAO's help, and you know for a fact that we have discussed not only in the rice sector, but other sector in the Ministry of Agriculture, the fishing sector, the new emerging crop sector that you all have given us help on, and now in the rice sector. So I am very happy that the agriculture sector is receiving valuable support from the FAO, and I look forward for more support in the future so that we can drive the agri-food system in the Caribbean, and Guyana could rightfully place as the breadbasket of the Caribbean. So once again, on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, on behalf of the government of Guyana, I want to express our sincere appreciation to you, to the FAO, to the entire Secretariat and of the FAO. Yesterday I would have had a conversation with your Director General, and he was very, very upbeat about Guyana's position and Guyana's role in the agriculture drive in the region. And he looked forward to visit Guyana shortly so that we can cement the relation that we have started. And as Minister of Agriculture, I want to publicly thank you, Dr. Smith, for the help you have given me as Minister of Agriculture and for the support over the year to improve and advance our agriculture sector forward.
The extension arm of the new Guyana Marketing Corporation, GMC, has been boosted with the acquisition of 13 motorcycles by the agency through the Ministry of Agriculture. The motorcycles were handed over during an exercise celebrating 21 years of operation of the packaging facility. Speaking at the handing over exercise, Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa said the motorcycles will be used to improve the reach of the agency and forms part of an overall effort to improve agriculture extension in general.
We have seen people willingness to serve and to serve the people of our country, and that is very important. And that is why we have recognized the importance of giving the tools to our workers, to our staff, so that they can deliver. And the GMC has a very important role to play. We are seeing that the agro-processing sector in our country is moving apace like the other agencies. And we, although we are now embarking on new crops, we are advancing the traditional crops, we are embarking on non-traditional crops. The GMC and agro-processing will be very important because we want to move away from that stigma of subsistence farming and want to ensure that we add value to our produce in this country.
On Wednesday last, Minister Zulfikar Mustafa led his team of heads of department of the various agencies of the Ministry of Agriculture to sit for an appearance before the Parliamentary Select Committee on Economic Services, during which he made a detailed presentation on the work of his ministry and various agencies. The sectoral committee, in the exercise of their responsibility, examines all policies and administration to determine whether the execution of government policy is in accordance with the principles of good governance and in the best interest of the nation. In his more than 1 hour presentation to the Economic Services Committee, chaired by the Honourable Sherwin F.K. Holder, Minister Mustafa described the past year as one in which the agriculture sector has seen tremendous growth and transformation, even against the background of the devastating floods experienced earlier this year. In beginning his presentation, Minister Mustafa outlined government's vision for the agriculture sector in Guyana.
The PDP civic government's vision for the agriculture sector is to have a competitive, dynamic, and diversified and environmentally sustainable agri-food system by 2025. To achieve this vision, the agriculture and food system sector in Guyana is being repositioned and transformed. To build a diversified and competitive agriculture sector to increase production and exports and reduce food imports. Create a robust marketing system to improve local and international market access. Modernize and upgrade infrastructure to advance water management and transportation requirements. Promote a national integrated approach to food and nutrition security with a focus on operationalizing the Food Safety Authority. Strengthen and modernize support services to promote innovation and sustainability of the agriculture sector. Strengthen the resilience and sustainability of agri-system to promote effective management of natural and productive resources and to protect the investment and livelihood in agriculture from external shocks. Develop human resources on which to build a responsive, diversified, gender-responsive, world-class agriculture workforce that delivers the vision, and improve multi-sectorial coordination and strengthening data systems to guide policy development and implementation. With our focus on these 8 priorities, we have begun to modernize the sector, change the image of the sector, and start to propel the transformation process.
But then began his review with a look at the forestry and fisheries sector, which for the first half of 2021 contracted by some 2.4%, as against the 4.1% for the corresponding period last year. This represents a slowdown in the decline of the sectors as government policies begin to take effect. According to Minister Mustafa, government has, in recognition of the shocks to the agriculture sector that were caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and more recently the floods early this year, devised and executed a flood relief program that is still ongoing, a program aimed at helping farmers get back on their feet.
As a relief mechanism, the government announced a $7.8 billion flood relief cash grant to persons who were affected by the flooding. To date, over 27,000 crops, livestock, farmers, and households that were affected have already received assistance from the government. This program will be ongoing to capture everyone who has suffered losses during the flood. Additionally, the Ministry of Agriculture will be assisting with genetic improvements, distribution of planting materials, seeds, plants, and right seedling, agrochemicals, drainage and irrigation works, technical support, and extension services.
The minister told the committee that because of the government's proactive interventions to re-energize and reposition Guyana's agriculture sector through the modernization of its food production systems, Guyana is once again leading the regional agriculture development agenda, holding several key positions.
Last year, Mr. Chair, when I took office as Minister of Agriculture, Guyana has lost its place as being leader in agriculture in CARICOM. Due to this unresponsiveness of Guyana, St. Vincent and the Grenadines took leadership of agriculture. However, today I am pleased that our President has corrected this, advancing CARICOM agri-food system agenda, prioritizing regional food and nutritional security was proposed by him and endorsed in February 2021 by CARICOM heads of government. With this document that was presented by our President came the work of the Special Ministerial Task Force on Food Production and Food Security, which Guyana's chair and are implementing this strategy. This strategy follows the Jack Dales initiative, which also aims to fast-track the regional transformation program for agriculture by identifying 10 key binding constraints and corresponding intervention to address. The implementation plan of CARICOM Agri-Food System Strategy seeks to address 1. Removal of all technical barriers to trade, the implementation of e-agriculture strategy, investments in production, research and development, measures to promote de-risking of the sector, improvement of transport and logistics. With the implementation of the Agri-Food System Strategy, we are seeking to commercialize agriculture by embracing a value chain approach that will include large-scale private sector investment in the agribusiness sector, productive activities, and supporting infrastructure, while not marginalizing small, but rather seeking to pull them along through mechanisms to promote backward and forward linkages. Guyana has been particularly resource rich. The border is targeted as a natural destination for many of the investments required. Vast expanses of land and freshwater, among other factors, such as soil and corn. This will guarantee affordable, stable, and predictable quality input for the feed manufacturing sector, which will further serve to make the sector and related sectors in the livestock value chain significantly more competitive. Guyana has been leading by example, Mr. Chair. The government in 2021 for an investment of $500 million in supporting infrastructure, mainly in roads to catalyst private investment in the production of corn and soya. The initial trial saw the cultivation of 150 acres of soybeans and 5 acres of corn. Corn and soybeans are major ingredients in the poultry feed and fish feed, and the intermediate savanna has the land potential to produce. As of November 7, 2021, reaping has commenced, and the soybeans trial at the Double Ranch in Ibini or East River. The 150 acres cultivation is very promising, with yields of up to 2 tons per hectare. Another 125 acres of both corn and soybeans will be planted shortly. As the private sector seeks to increase investment in the agriculture sector, regionally and locally, we are exploring ways in which we can de-risk the agriculture sector. I am very pleased to report as chair of the Ministerial Task Force that a subcommittee is currently being established specifically to address opportunities for establishing an agricultural insurance product on a regional scale and for advancing a proposal for sustainable Caribbean finance facility. And this year, I am very, very elated that many of our farmers in Guyana who lost crops when we have, and now with climate change taking place rapidly, we are now seeing the fruition of our commitment around the Caribbean, where agencies in the insurance sector are willing now to insure crop for our farmers.
The Agriculture Minister then gave a detailed report of each of the sub-sectors of agriculture, beginning with sugar and ending with a review of the various measures and results for the ever-increasing efficiency and effectiveness of the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board, PTCCB. In wrapping up his presentation to the Economics Committee of Parliament, Minister Mustafa posited that because of the policies and programs being pursued by his ministry and the government of the day, agriculture development in Guyana is on a path to realizing the wealth-generating potential of the sector, empowering not only the economic fortunes of the country, but ensuring that those engaging in the business of agriculture are also empowered through the financial reward to be had.
I want to say over the last years, we have seen a revolution in the agriculture sector in our country, where we have seen a renewed interest, so to speak, a renewed interest in the agriculture sector. We are seeing more and more farmers, more and more stakeholders are coming forward to get involved in the agri-food system because they see now a future in the agriculture sector. Guyana now is taking the spotlight in the Caribbean. We are now chair of the Pesticide Council of the Caribbean. Guyana is chairing that, our registrar is chairpersons. We are chairing the Ministerial Task Force on the agri-food system in the Caribbean, yours truly. And next week I will be assuming the chairmanship of the Caribbean Meteorological Council from the Honorable Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So you can see Guyana now is taking the spotlight. Guyana is leading the drive in the Caribbean. The country future is secure in terms of agriculture, the investment that the government is making. Our president is leading this drive. I think in the CARICOM, there are a lot of hope and our president to lead the agri-food system and the policy of the agriculture sector in the Caribbean. And Guyana has to play a leading role.
Minister Mustafa and his team of department heads are expected to reappear before the Economic Services Committee in 1 month, during which members of the committee will be able to seek clarity and a better understanding of the various policies and programs as detailed by Minister Mustafa during his presentation. Finally, on This Week in Agriculture, the Agriculture Minister on Saturday continued government's flood relief distribution exercise in Region 1, which began a week ago. Farmers in the communities of Kamwata, Yarakita, and Whitewater received the checks totaling some $19.6 million as government assistance in getting them back into farming. Speaking to residents in the various communities, the Agriculture Minister stressed that the monies being distributed was not compensation for the losses, but help in mitigating the impact of the losses suffered due to floods earlier this year. He urged them to put the money to good use, explaining that the money, together with assistance in the form of seeds and planting material and support from the extension staff of the various agencies of his ministry, they will be in a position to not only recover from their losses, but to grow and expand their agricultural pursuits in their respective communities. Government has committed to assisting coconut farmers across the country in their efforts at expanding their cultivations. This help will come through the clearing of vegetation and digging of internal drainage and irrigation channels. Farmers can also expect help in the form of technical support through NARI and the Hope Estate. Further, coconut seedling nurseries have been established in various regions as part of a decentralization program for nurseries. Coconut seedlings are now available. These are the 5, 3, and 18-month varieties. Farmers are reminded that the recommended number of trees per acre is 50. Persons interested in purchasing seedlings may make contact with Hope Estate on telephone number 663-2709. Once the booking is made, seedlings can be picked up from a nursery nearest you. A message from the management of Hope Estate, Ministry of Agriculture.
Well, that's all the time we have in this week's edition of This Week in Agriculture, a presentation of the Communications Unit, Ministry of Agriculture. I'm your producer and host, Christopher Holder. On behalf of the entire production team, all of us at the Minister's Secretariat, we want to wish you all the best for the rest of the week, and of course, until we meet again, be good to yourselves and to each other.